Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Alain. Feeling a little nostalgic this morning. Pulled a cup off the shelf here that I'm drinking out of. You can see the Mirage logo there. And we turn it around and we see the white tiger with the Siegfried and Roy logo. Interesting thing about this mug, I bought this cup on October 3rd, 2003. I remember it because I was there for the full week doing some risk management visits to law firms. I was working with Alps at the time, a company that insured lawyers for malpractice all around the country. And a coworker and I, Mark, were in Vegas doing risk management visits to law firms, where we would go in and assess different things to help law firms reduce the likelihood of having a claim against them, because many claims against lawyers for malpractice due to faulty systems, missing dates or this or that. So that's what we were down there doing for the week. It was the last day in Vegas. We were going to fly home later that evening. We had afternoon flights getting home back here in Montana late at night. And as we were walking the strip, looking for a place to eat lunch, we had lunch on the strip. We saw the Mirage and thought, yeah, let's go over and see the white tigers. I've always been a tiger person since a very little kid, still am. And so we went in to see the white tigers that you could see there at the Mirage back then, because Siegfried and Roy were performing back at that time. Went in, saw the white tigers, and I had to buy the cup. Had a white tiger on it. A little souvenir to take home from Vegas. I know it was October 3rd, 2003, because when I landed at home, my wife picked me up and said, the tiger guy in Vegas was attacked by a tiger. And that was the day that Roy Horn, on his 59th birthday, had the incident where he was bitten by the tiger, and which ended up stopping the Siegfried and Roy show. So I never had a chance to actually see the show live. But it's just interesting that I was there and I bought this cup on the day of that incident. Although when that happened, I was on the plane flying home. And the wife saw it on the news while she was waiting for me. Since then, Roy Horn died in 2020 and Siegfried Frischbacher died in 2021. They were both elderly, had disease. It was during the COVID that Roy Horn died, and it was cancer that took Siegfried. But I wish I would have been able to see the show live. I've seen it on television, different things. I have a book about them. The cats were magnificent. I got to see a few of the cats live when I would go in there to see them. But change happens. And I was thinking about all of this because they're about to tear the Mirage down. The Mirage will be no more. The volcano out front will be no more. We wait a couple years, we'll see a giant guitar. The Hard Rock is going to build a new Hard Rock hotel in the shape of a guitar, is from what I read, in the place where the Mirage is now. So I believe it's sometime in July will be the closing of the doors. So if you have Mirage poker chips, go cash them in, use them before July, because they won't be good. They'll be good next door for a little while longer, but then they won't be good anymore except for collector's pieces. Maybe you can get something that way. But the Mirage will be gone, the volcano will be gone, and a big Hard Rock hotel will be there in its place. Just like everything, things change. I go back to Korea. Every time I go back to Korea, stuff is different. It seems like they build quick and fast and things change. It's nice to go back to some of the old places that haven't changed and that are preserved. But, I see that in Missoula changing all the time. You go into the mall today, it was different than the mall a year ago, which was different than the mall 5 years ago, which was definitely different from the mall when I was here as an undergrad in the early 90s. every community, every place is continuing to change. About the only thing we can count on, things will change. Sometimes for the best, sometimes not. Sometimes it's just different. It's not better or worse, it's just different. The better or worse is in how you perceive it. To some that have fond memories of the past, they're going to complain about things were better back then. To others that look forward to change in the future, they're going to be excited about the progress or what they believe is progress. But a lot of it's up in how we take it in our mindset of what we believe in the change. Yeah, I could say fixated on Siegfried and Roy and the volcano in front of the Mirage nostalgically and say it's terrible. And the Hard Rock Hotel, the guitar has, it's just nothing like the old Mirage. And the old, you could live like that. Or you could say, I remember this when it was, and it was great. But now look at this cool hard rock guitar and whatever kind of shows and things that they will bring to the Vegas Strip. We won't know for a few more years. It's, I believe, 2027 is when it's anticipated to open. So it'll be a few more SHOT Shows before I can go check out the Hard Rock Hotel. But that's life. Everything changes. And yes, I miss some of the old things that are gone. You probably do too. But some of the new things are pretty cool too. Dixon's here. I want to say good morning to Dixon. Dixon says UNESCO is all over South Korea. UNESCO is all over South Korea. I remember one time my daughter, when we were very little, Netflix was coming along and it closed Blockbuster Video and Hollywood Video. The Hollywood Video, which was close to our house, is one that we used to walk down to. And the daughter would look at all the videos and get to pick what movie she wanted. And wife and I'd pick what we wanted. And, we'd take the videos home and so forth. And then when the store closed because of Netflix, I remember my daughter one time saying, when I get older, I'm going to start a store and you will be able to get movies for a penny just to beat Netflix, because she was mad that Netflix was closing her store. And now my daughter is like most of people her age. Everything is digital. DVDs, CDs, cassette tapes. You still have cassette tapes? You still have VHS, Dad? Oh my God, you're a dinosaur. Yeah, I still have VHS tapes because I have so many self-defense and martial art. I had all the VHS, then I had DVD, and I still have them. And I still have recorders to play them because I still will sometimes plug in a VHS martial art or self-defense DVD and watch that old instruction and see some things like that. So I still have them. Yes, I'm a dinosaur. But to my daughter, she doesn't want any of that. It's all digital and stuff now. But boy, when she was little, she was going to get back at Netflix for closing that store that she really enjoyed, because we all enjoyed going down there and perusing the shelves of movies to pick something for that night. But that's change, right? So we need to embrace it. We can remember things in the past fondly, sure. But we need to embrace change, and we need to work on ourselves and everything that we're doing to make positive change, to make things positive as we go forward. And if we look at change that way, and we actively make things more positive as we're going forward, it's going to make things that much better. We cannot get stuck in the, things were better back then, and this nostalgic, thing that the past is always greater than the future. It's different. I'm not going to say it's better or worse, because sometimes it is better, sometimes it is worse. but it's definitely different. And we need to accept it, embrace it, and do what we can to make the change the best possible while not forgetting the good things of the past. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that this morning, seeing the Mirage closing, looking over and noticing the Siegfried and Roy cup on the shelf and remembering way back when the Tigers were there. Dixon says, I still have VHS tapes, but my player sadly bit the dust several years back. Maybe I should chuck them. I think you can still get VHS players, though. They're not as easy to get, but I think you can still find them out there. So I don't know if I'd chuck them or not. That's up to you. You can maybe donate them someplace. I know I still have the VHS player that works, and I'm glad because I stick those tapes in every once in a while. Like all of my Bong Su-han, those are all on VHS. I never upgraded to DVD with his big set. And a bunch of others, a ton of old Paladin stuff. I have my VHS. Originally, my Hapkido Hoshinsel and Street Fighting Essentials and, my Paladin stuff, those were all on VHS. And I have the VHS and I have the DVD of those, but the VHS for nostalgia. But some of them I never did upgrade, so I have to watch the VHS if I want to watch those instructors these days. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me ramble a little bit, being nostalgic, talking about change. I think it's something all of us ponder at times, and I just wanted to discuss it and how we can look at change positively, remembering the good, remembering the bad and learning from it, and trying to effectively make positive change as we go forward. Because change will happen, and it's up to us to make it positive. Be sure to get the newsletter. Got a really good lead article on martial arts this week, inspired by reading Dr. Kim's autobiography. There was a page in there and some stuff he talked about from a person he learned from, Dr. Lee, and it just inspired the lead article on the water principles that he learned from Dr. Lee. Think you'll like that article. Think you'll like the rest of the newsletter. So make sure you sign up for that by getting your free resources at enjoylifesafely.com. Until tomorrow, make it a spectacular Sunday, and we'll see you in the morning.